Okay, so what is exactly happening here? So all these kind of threats, they're trying to create some kind of malicious or undesired behavior, right? So what is our objective in this session is, first we try to make it simple to understand the overall problem. Okay, let us be clear with the problem. See, first, if you start talking about the technology directly, we may not be able to appreciate that. Okay, and even understanding also becomes very, very difficult. The best approach would be try to understand the problem, then we try to relate how we can try to address the problem by using the right technology. Okay, this is the approach we are trying to follow. So we know that these are all the malicious things which we listed out in the previous slide. Now what we are trying to do is that we are trying to see what is that kind of malicious behavior it is trying to cause. In a very human understandable form, we will try to understand this. So one of the possible malicious or undesired behavior is stealing information, right? So corporate secrets like source code, financial details, trade secrets can be stolen, or personal information in terms of passwords, PIN number, credit card numbers. Okay, these kind of things can be stolen. Okay, so what is the problem? It is a threat against the confidentiality. So now so many offering, and day in day out we are trying to access our online banking, we are accessing online shopping sites. Okay, like that we are trying to access our office servers from the remote end. Okay, like that we are able to access the machines remotely over the network and try to carry out our activities. Okay, whether it is personal or professional. So, but these are the kind of the threats which are involved. Okay, which are against the confidentiality. In the similar lines, modifying information or functionalities are other malicious or undesired behavior. So without our knowledge, our machine can be a kind of source of a botnet client. Without our knowledge, there can be an agent which gets installed in our machine that can try to launch a denial of service attack, or without our knowledge, some spyware might be installed in our machine. Okay, this is again a threat against the modified. So integrity. So our integrity of the client machine is broken. Some unauthorized things have come into picture. Sometimes destroying the records or accounts. Okay, so like that, these are all the various malicious things. Similarly, okay, malicious things again is the integrity. The third type is denying access. Okay, you may be the legitimate person or the authorized person to access some online service, but you are denied from accessing because there can be some kind of attack launched on the server, so which stops the legitimate person from accessing this particular the service. Okay, so what happened? You will be unable to purchase products. You are denied from accessing the service itself. It is not available to you, though you are the legitimate or the genuine person to access that. Okay, you'll not be able to do the purchase of products or access the banking service. Okay, these are some of the examples we are trying to quote. So which are some of the malicious behaviors by the various threats in our networks. What is all about cybersecurity? Okay, so what is if you look at any of our applications, okay, let us talk about Word application or a PowerPoint application or a browser application, or let us talk about a client server application like online applications like online banking site, online shopping site, or any kind of thing. In all these things, you have a specific objective in your mind while you design these applications, right? Browser has got a specific application. It has to help you out to browse the various services over the World Wide Web through the HTTP protocol. Similarly, online shopping site is designed to carry out the online shopping operations. Similarly, online bank, like that, every application has got some kind of desired behavior, which accordingly the application is designed. Okay, but what is happening actually? Hackers or adversary, they're actively making efforts to cause undesired or malicious behavior. Okay, so that is, though this is the kind of expected or desired behavior you expect from each of the application, but hackers or adversary are making active efforts to cause this undesired or malicious behavior, which I listed out in the previous slide. So what is all about cybersecurity, which we need to take care, each one of us is responsible, is concerned with preventing this undesired behavior. How do we prevent it? By securing our systems and networks through the collection of mechanisms and tools designed to protect data and operations and to prevent hackers and adversary. Okay, so we are trying to use the various mechanisms, tools and all, so through which we are trying to protect and data and operations, and we are trying to avoid these hackers and adversary to carry out this kind of malicious behavior. What kind of tools we are using? We are using various things like cryptographic mechanisms, firewalls, intrusion detection systems, anti-malware solutions. We talk about threat intelligence solutions, like that. We have over the period, a lot of sophistication happened in this development of the tools. Okay, in order to continuously stop the evolving cyber threat. Okay, and over and above, It is not the technology alone is going to help. We also say that it is going to be a holistic approach where technology along with people and process are also equally important. Skilled manpower is important. Ethical manpower, people should have ethics actually whenever they carry out their operations. And the process, the governing framework is required, audit kind of thing, regular audit of the network like that. A system should have process in place. Okay. Only then continuously we need to do it. And one more thing is, once you deploy something, we can never say that our systems are 100% secure, because to address the evolving threats, we should continuously try to identify the new vulnerabilities and then try to protect our systems. Okay, these are all about the cyber security, right? So my objective is to try to give an idea about what is that cyber security problem. And what we are doing actually in terms of technology, we deploy the endpoint security solutions, we deploy the gateway and network security solutions. Earlier endpoint means only desktops. Now we also try to talk about the mobiles also as kind of endpoints. Okay, gateway and network security. So I think each one of you are aware of all these things. So when I talk about gateway level, we talk about anti-spyware, antivirus, okay, IDS, intrusion detection system, intrusion prevention system, virtual private network. Okay, so now whenever you want to connect to other network, okay, over the public network, okay, in order to secure the communication, we depend on virtual private network. Okay, so and in the present scenario, we are talking about UTM box, unified threat management box, which comes with all these kind of components. And above all, we talk about threat intelligence. Continuously, you try to monitor the activities and predict the threat for your systems. So we have security, information and event management solutions, SIM tools, where they try to continuously analyze the log, capture and analyze the log correlating across the various the internet working devices and security tools, and then try to predict that. And similarly, security operation centers and other things like that. Okay, so like that, continuously we are monitoring and we are trying to analyze the logs and correlating the things to predict the new threats which can penetrate into our systems. And these are all the kinds of solutions which we deploy at the gateway level. Similarly, at the end system level, I hope you remember maybe way back some 20 years or so back, endpoint means we only remember about antivirus solution. Okay, so that means at the end systems, whether it is mostly Windows only, Linux, we never had the antivirus and other things earlier. So now to some extent we have in the recent times, see what is happening now. We talk about the integrated endpoint security management solution like McAfee, Kaspersky or any other agencies. No, even what we are talking about integrated endpoint security solutions. What is that? It is not just limited to antivirus. Okay, we have lot of other features which are available in the endpoint security management frameworks. Okay, so they have antivirus, desktop firewall, app control, device control, host IDS kind of features are there. OS hardening we do at the operating system level, and trusted execution environment is I will talk about at a later point. Okay, so first let me talk about antivirus. Okay, so if you look at the evolution of the antivirus also, initially it was more with respect to the signature based antivirus. So what happened is, whenever a new malicious entity is detected, let us say a specific code red worm or something like slammer worm or some kind of new malware is detected, people used to come out with a signature, specific assembly code corrected with that particular malware. So from that particular assembly code specific to that particular malware, we used to have a signature of it, and we used to have a database of these signatures available, so that at each end system endpoint, the antivirus scanner will look for such kind of signatures, and in case if any of the such signature exists, it will try to block the operations. Okay, that is how the signature based anti-malware solutions were there. So whenever a new malware is detected, immediately antivirus companies as well as the vendor of the software, they used to look for the work towards detecting that particular thing. And then once it is identified exact behavior and all, then actually people worked on the signature. Okay, now what happened is, these signature based solutions were initially effective where maybe like very rarely there used to be a malicious entity or malware generated. But what is happening is, at a later point of time, people understood, because the antivirus solutions are trying to identify based on the signature. Okay, so what happens in this particular case is, if we try to slightly change the assembly code or a signature of that particular thing by just adding some extra opcodes or some kind of thing, dummy code if you can introduce, the antivirus will not be able to detect. So such kind of methods people have adopted, adversary has adopted. so that they can bypass the antivirus scanner. So that's where next in the antivirus industry, the behavior-based antivirus solutions were developed. Rather than looking at the signature, just look at the behavior. Even there, by changing the signature, it will try to give the similar behavior, right? So the malicious behavior will be similar. So look at the behavior, what exactly it is trying to do. Is it opening a socket connection to the external world or sending something? What exactly is the kind of behavior? You identify that and try to block. That is another thing. But later what happened, even sometimes the signature, if you look at the specific behavior, the problem is people are trying to slightly modify the behavior and coming out with new malware. In that particular case, having the even behavior-based antivirus was not very helpful. That's it. Heuristic-based approaches were evolved actually. What is this? Is scientists have worked on understanding the malicious behavior of the malware collected over the period. Okay, and then analyze from all that and come out with a general heuristic rules using which you'll be able to block the future malware. Okay, so it's a kind of heuristic rule-based model. So this was also effective to some extent. Okay, so that's so that the various the antivirus kind of solutions have evolved. Okay, to address the continuously evolving malware. So desktop firewall at the desktop level, trying to enable the access control. App control is something which is very, very important. What happens is, in spite of having all these kind of things like signature based or behavior based or heuristic based, sometimes we'll not be able to block the 0-day kind of attacks. So what happens is, sometimes without our knowledge, some unknown entity will get landed. Okay, so some unknown entity will get landed, some executable will get dropped. So but that executable is not yet categorized into the malware because it is not yet categorized. Okay, so something by clicking on some kind of link and all, it has landed, but it is not yet categorized into the malware, so that antivirus will be able to scan that particular thing. So what happens? It is unknown entity, but not yet categorized into malware. At the same time, with whether it is whether it is a good thing or a bad thing. That's the kind of situation in which. So in that particular case, it's always better to block that particular thing till you have a clarity on whether it comes under the good category or bad category. Okay, that's where the application control is of help. What happens in this application control is that whenever you have some set of applications in the desktop which you want to use, allow only those applications to run and block every other thing. Okay, so what happens is that whenever a new unknown entity comes by clicking on a link or something like that, then it will try to block that particular thing. Till it is categorized, it is not going to run that particular. That's how most of the cases, the 0-day attacks and other things can be blocked by using the app control. So what is this device control is like, as you are aware, even a small USD device can play a very, very important role in bringing the entire network down, right? So we have seen the SCADA threat, that is the Stuxnet kind of malware, so which has penetrated through the USB device, right? So these devices play a very, very important role. So controlling the devices becomes very important. So by using the device control, we'll be able to control the devices. We'll say only these devices are allowed, these devices are blocked, and accordingly you can try to enforce and execute the policies in the network. Post intrusion detection, monitor the traffic at the end system. OS hardening at the kernel level, you try to enforce the policies. See, again, it depends on the environment. Sometimes the stringent policies can be enforced depending on the kind of applications, like critical infrastructure. If you talk about, we may go to the lowermost kernel levels and enforce it. Whereas a general office environment, IT environment, and other things like the good endpoint security management would suffice. Okay. Whereas critical environment and strategic, we need to go for complete OS hardening at the kernel level. And also we need to have hardware root of trust, because see, any software module can be compromised, right? So what we do is that we can get the OS integrity verified through a hardware root of trust, that is called a trusted execution environment. Okay, so like that, depending on the requirement, criticality of the environment, we try to enforce the more security. Okay, so this is the kind of solutions which are developed over the period.